Hey, what's up, everybody? You know, you can probably see the title of this audio video up here, and yeah, I'm doing some audio videos so that way, I don't. Well, I'm not necessarily wasting my battery or anything because my battery is always rechargeable on my new camera on my new camera that I've had since August. But I figured just a little easier at times, and if I have a lot more to say, it gives me more time than just maybe a 29-minute HD limit. Um, but anyway, I thought I'd kind of well, you can see the title, what it says up there. It basically is a very good topic. As a matter of fact, I talked about this I talked about this at DeviantArt and several of the Sonic message boards, and I gave it a different title. The title I gave it was "The Reason We Talk About Sally's New Redesign." And here well, I'm going to provide the link first of all to the DeviantArt part so you can see it, or maybe one of the message boards so you can see it. Um, but here it says Sally's design in 2013. It's going to say something like the 2013 Sally's 2013 redesign. Will it go back or forth? It'll say something like It'll say something to that measure. Sally's 2013 design. Will it go back and forth? And basically, depending on what the title, it'll say something similar to that. But basically, the reason I want to go with that kind of a title is because it's a very good question that I've mentioned many times on in the HD camera videos, if you will, on camera and or with something like a DVD or something in front of the camera while I'm speaking in the background, or even like here on audio. But it's been something I've mentioned time and time before, and the reason I mention it is because it's really intriguing. It's really interesting to think about. You see, there's a lot of characters that have gone back and forth between the original and redesigns, not just in Sonic, but in several other kinds of media. A good example would be Disney's Aladdin, the television show. I remember when it got towards its later episodes, towards like its final episodes, if you will, its later episodes, if you will. I think it was the episodes that took place after the two-parter Seems Like Old Crimes. But but it was like after that two-part miniseries, basically that 45-minute mini movie Seems Like Old Crimes, that they started to go in a different direction with the designs. Aladdin debuted a new design, if you will. It was basically still kind of similar to what we had seen him with before, but he had like a new kind of wraparound belt kind of thing or whatever, a waist thing, and his clothes weren't as Aladdin-like or raggedy as we had seen him before. And later on, Jasmine started to also take on a redesign. She wasn't wearing her traditional sky blue outfit or anything like that, or design. She started wearing things like some kind of a royal dress or royal outfit, more different at times. And you kind of see that redesign as well as you get right into the last movie. But the point I'm trying to make is even when they did that, there were several new episodes that came after them where they went back and forth. They went back to the traditional designs, and then they went right to the new ones. They were kind of back and forth deal. And that's kind of where I see maybe something happening next year. You see, right now, as far as we know, and I'm pretty sure Ian Flynn, Paul Kaminsky, Death, Ben Bates and Stephen Butler and those that work at Archie Comics, the higher ups and everything, as well as people at Sega, I'm pretty sure by now they realize that the design's getting a mixed reaction. And the reason for that mixed reaction is because there are some people that are okay with it, but have come out and said that they're going to miss the original. There are some that have come out and said they don't like this, new look because it makes it look too young. And as I've said before, looks can be deceiving. And some have come out and said, hey, I like it, and it's about time she got a redesign. And of course, there are some that are like, finally, sarcastically will come out and say, finally, they put clothes on her. It's basically a mixed bag. And basically, it's a mixed bag that if it continues on into next year up till the day, up to the month and the day the issue in which her new design officially debuts is released, only then will we start to get some kind of clue as to maybe them going back and forth. Now, let me explain what I mean by going back and forth. Again, like with Aladdin, many shows have done this. But it's not just shows, in comic books as well. And more specifically, the Sonic comic book. I mean, when you take a look, let's take a look at one of my personal favorite characters out of the SatAM Archie cast that has evolved and gotten a new redesign, if you will, Bunny Rabbit. Bunny Rabbit, as we all know, has had the same design technically since the beginning. At least that's what we thought. Up until about the 90s, 100th like issues. Then all of a sudden she started to develop a new design. First of all, her first redesign, of course, was her cybernetics. And I give him credit for coming up with a story in the traditional super specials, in the original super specials, in the super special number 6, which was entitled Girls Rule, where they basically replaced her original SatAM cybernetics, if you will, or her original SatAM robotics, if you will, and cybernetics, with more sleeker, more curvier, I guess you could say, and more modern, up-to-date cybernetics that she had up until recently. And that was the first redesign. The second redesign was having her grow hair. Now, we had seen that she had developed some bangs. She combed out some bangs and all that. So that was the first. Actually, that was the first redesign there. Well, not actually the first redesign, but that was like the second redesign. Her combing out her bangs, if you will, letting them come out and having the Daisy Duke outfit. And then that kind of gave us an idea that later on she would start to let her hair out, and that's exactly what the artist and I guess everybody approved on, let her grow her hair. Let her do what Sally had been doing at that time, and that's let her hair grow long. Now I'm not saying Sally had her hair grow out long or anything, during that time, because I think it was still average. It was still the SatAM design as we knew. But then again, after Sonic came back, as I had mentioned before in the previous audio video and some other ones, when he came back after his year away from Mobius, we had seen that not only did she still have a long hair, but she was now all cowgirl. Basically, she, in addition to her new, more curvier, more modern style cybernetics and long hair, she now had a cowgirl outfit along with, belt buckle that had a gun, jacket, hat, and gloves. And basically the fingerless gloves, the ones where you could put your fingers through them. So that was pretty cool, and a lot of people jumped on it. A lot of people actually liked it right off the bat, believe it or not, because they saw that that was still Bunny, and then when they saw her have that new look, they said, you know what, that matches Bunny perfectly. Now, some, I understand, probably said it looks like they ripped off Rogue's outfit in a way from X-Men, and maybe it got inspired. Maybe they didn't rip off, but they got inspired, but they added more to it. And again, it's not. And again, it pretty much wasn't the first time you knew she was going to wear the coat. I mean, the leather coat, yes, but it was not the first time she's ever worn a coat. Let's not forget, in the issue where Rouge officially debuted, which took place before all of this, before the whole Sonic goes into space for a year, Mobian time, that they encountered Rouge in a backstory, if you will. So it's not the first time she's ever worn a coat, but it's giving you an idea of what was to come, I guess, at that time. But like I said, when Sonic came back, she was all cowgirl. But here was the thing, folks. Here was the thing. She may have been cowgirl for a while, but as we saw throughout future issues, as further issues came in and were released, she wasn't cowgirl for that long. No, she wasn't. As a matter of fact, she was able to go back and forth. In fact, I remember, I think it was issue 157, I believe, where Sonic revealed to everybody that the Antoine Sally was supposedly going to had married, but thankfully that was annulled, if you will, was the anti-Antoine, the Patch, if you will, and that when he brought the real Antoine back, we see Bunny in her regular outfit. So it tells you that they do go back and forth. They allow her to kind of be herself again, be the Satiam Bunny. Maybe, again, like I said, the only difference being the cybernetics and the hair, but she was still Bunny, still the one we knew. And the way I look at it, when she wears the outfit, when she wears the trench coat and the hat and everything, it's mainly because it's an action outfit. It's an out and about and mostly a mission outfit, like a uniform. Now, what this has to do with Sally, well, it's real simple. I've said this before, I'll say it again. I feel that and I said this recently tonight on, at DeviantArt and at the message boards. I said, as I've said before, that if the mixed reaction continues on into next year, I won't be surprised if they decide to go back and forth with Sally. In other words, let her have the new outfit, but every now and then have her go back to maybe just the vest and the boots. It's crazy enough to say, but I wouldn't be surprised by that. In fact, you can look at it almost in 4 different ways that she can have a different look. A different look besides the one that was presented, which I do agree is not the final draft, is not the final official design, just a teaser of what could come, of what is to come. As a matter of fact, I will say this. There's a lot of people that are not sold on the design just yet, but Deja Blue over at the Sonic Stadium likes the fact that the person who I think is somebody I've seen before. I can't pronounce it right now. It's like ESPI or something like that. They're on several of the boards. You'll probably know who I'm talking about. The people in charge over the Sonic Channels deal created a Sonic Channel picture with the new Sally design, and according to Deja Blue, they got sold more on the new design through that rendition than what was presented at the NYCC, the New York Comic Con. Now, I'm pretty sure as we get closer and closer to next year's Comic-Con in San Diego, and maybe even towards Wizard as well in the next year or so. We might get more detail of what's going on. But like I said, I will agree with Ian Flynn on one thing. It's not the official design. It's a rough design. But again, getting back to what I was saying, what I feel could be a four-way look at is like this. It could go back and forth between this new design and the classic Season 2 Satayam design, if you will. They could probably go back and forth with the design you saw and maybe kind of pay homage to the Season 2 design where she keeps the vest open, but instead of seeing her bare chest, you see the black top, the black T-top or tank top, if you will, in its place, along with the shorts and boots and the gloves. Or they might just have her take the vest off and she'll just, sometimes go around maybe with her tank top and shorts on. Again, those are four ways you could see them working out this new design, or working out the new design for Sally. Like I said, using the one they presented in its final draft and appearance when it officially debuts with its final official design. Two, maybe go back to, on occasions, go back to the Satayam design, Season 2. Or maybe 3, allow to pay homage to it by having her open up the vest, but instead of having the bare chest, just have the black, tank top under it, along with the shorts and the boots. Or 4, just have her take the vest off on occasions and just be in the vest and the boot. Just be in the tank top, shorts, and boots and gloves, and that's it. Somebody at DeviantArt drew a picture. It was kind of like a pose by pose deal from Sonic's perspective. It's like Sonic's checking, according to what they drew, it's like Sonic's checking out all the different poses with Sally's new outfit, kind of checking out, how good it looks on her and everything. So again, though, that's what I think could happen. But I'm looking more at, besides that four-way option there, I'm looking at more at possibly, if it is a mixed reaction, you're going to have a back-and-forth situation there. There's no doubt about it. You are going to have a back-and-forth situation. Now, Ian Flynn says it's part of a larger game plan, but is it to get her in the games, or is it something else? Is this something more? Does he have a bigger story in mind? It's like, okay, you got her restored, but what's next? Does this have anything to do with the Blue Chaos Emerald and your crossover you got upcoming in the summer? We don't know. You see, we don't know anything just yet. And I'll give Ian Flynn credit. He's doing a great job in keeping secrets of what's going to come away from us. I'll give him credit. He's doing a better job at trying to at least not give too much away or reveal himself too much. To the point that even though we have an idea, according to one source, that the missing Blue Chaos Emerald will have something to do with the crossover, that we don't know if this crossover will have anything to do, any kind of effect as to maybe why Sally has the redesign, and not just because of robotization. And again, getting back to that, the robotization, weaponization, one person actually did say similar to what I said. They said that they could see why the design is happening the way it is. They could see maybe it's due to the fact that she got weaponized and modified, and they could see that. When you take a look at Darth Omni Shadow's gallery, and he did a great pick of the Mecha Sally weaponized style, of him in a weaponized form, and you kind of see exactly where the gloves would come in, and you could see where maybe the black shorts and the black tank top and stuff would come in. You kind of see that. So it's going to be, and as well as the boots. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see how it all takes place. But again, getting back on subject here, getting back on topic, I feel that, in my honest opinion, my honest, humble opinion, that 2013, when her new redesign debuts officially, it's gonna basically, as we get towards it, is gonna tell a huge story. It's gonna tell us whether or not it's going to be a mixed reaction, and if that mixed reaction going forward, up until the issue and day and month that it officially makes its debut, is either going to tell us whether or not they're going to go back and forth, whether they're going to keep the new redesign permanently, or they're going to go back and forth like they do with Bunny Rabbit and a few other characters. I mean, again, I'll give you another great example out of the comics is Hershey and Jeffrey. Yes, the Ken Penders characters, if you will. But look, Jeffrey's back to his old style. And last time we saw him before all this, he was all, suited up. He was all He was all suited up to go on missions and all that. And now look at him. And you take a look at that. I guess you can see that ghostly image on the cover of his trial issue, of the issue that centered around his trial. And he pretty much, not he, but you can pretty much see Hershey back in her original design, except for maybe the glasses that she had on. The point I'm trying to make is, just because they get a new redesign or a new outfit doesn't mean they can't go back to the original. I mean, look at Bunny. She's technically, even though she's de-roboticized, we see her at occasions going back to the original design. Just her leotard. And again, that tells me that I'm not going to be surprised, in my honest opinion, if they decide to go back and forth with this. I won't. I will not be surprised whatsoever. But again, it all depends on exactly what the plan is for the reasoning behind this redesign. Now, I can understand that a lot of people are upset at the fact that they feel that this overall story arc, which is yet to be finished, is all just leading up to this, and maybe that's one of the reasons they don't like the design. And sometimes they do, and some do like the design. They just wish it could be they just wish it could be handled differently or done differently. But again, I can understand on both sides. But getting back to the point of this audio video, what I'm trying to say is, what I'm trying to say, and I know I sound like a broken record here, what I'm trying to say is, do not be surprised as we get towards the official debut of this new design for Sally in 2013. Do not be surprised. Do not be surprised whatsoever if it goes back and forth. You understand? Don't be surprised by that. Because I'm not going to be. I'm sure Darth Armini's Shadow is not going to be. I'm sure Laser X is not going to be. I'm sure Ezekiel 300, Digimon 11, they're not going to be. I'm sure Double X Miko Double X is not going to be. I'm sure Red Arthur is not going to be. I'm sure Deja Blue, Ethereal Dragon Wings, they're not going to be surprised whatsoever. And I'm pretty sure Ian Flynn and Paul Kaminsky, Ben Bates, Tracy Yardley, and anybody else that works on the comic is not going to be surprised at all either. I'm sure of it. And I'm sure those that working at Sega are not going to be surprised. But that's just my honest opinion of what I feel could happen should the mixed reaction get stronger and get stronger basically as we get towards the debut of her new design. But we'll just have to wait and see. And that's all I'm going to say on it. Comment down below. Video responses are appreciated. And I'll talk to you all later.